morning. Today's session then, nice and strong and steady, slow, but with a flow, really working the core muscles, and also today some work for shoulders and arms. I think I might adjust my camera slightly. Get my microphone out of the picture. Still in. There we go, just out. All right. Come to the back of the mat. We'll begin in child's pose. Toes right at the back, backside to heels. Slide your hands forward. Let your forehead find the mat. Shoulders soft. Arrive on your mat. Give yourself permission for this time to be with your breath and your body. You catch yourself wandering off with thoughts of what's coming next or something that happened before, just come back to your session, to your breath, to the body. Now if you can, take a nice big in-breath through your nose. And exhale, release through your mouth. And another big in-breath through the nose. Exhale, release through the mouth. And again, inhaling through the nostrils. And this time out through your nose. Spread your fingers. Slide your hands forward just a bit. Rise up onto your hands and knees. Knees under hips. Slide your hands a little bit further forwards towards the corners of the mat. And bring your chest towards the mat, your forehead towards the mat. Keep your knees underneath your hips. Try and relax your legs. Take a nice big in-breath. And exhale, release. Couple more breaths here. Getting a lovely stretch in the front body. You might also feel a little back bend going on. Keep relaxing the legs. And then bring your hands one at a time to either side of your head. Press up and come to sit back down again. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, both hands up to the sky. I'm going to attempt to mirror you today. So as you exhale, take your left hand forward and your right arm back. Float them down to the floor. Go over your right shoulder. Inhale, scoop your arms up. Exhale, over to the left. Right arm forward. Inhale, both arms up. Twisting to the right. So far, so good. Inhale, scoop up. And twisting to the left. Keep using your breath. So long inhales. Let's do that one more time. Scoop your arms up, the length of the breath, and then exhale, the length of the twist. Take both hands up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, take your hands down by your sides. Lace your fingers. Reach your knuckles down and back. Lift your chin ever so slightly. Shoulders sliding towards each other, shoulder blades. And slowly release. Bring your hands to your thighs. Drop your chin down to your chest. As we go through the session today, please listen to your body. If anything feels too much or you feel like you're forcing your body into pose, please ease out of it. This is about working hard, but not about straining or forcing. So take your chin to your right shoulder, inhale. Exhale, chin back to the center line. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the center. Take a couple more semicircles while I cough. Excuse me. A little tickle, but nothing to worry about. Go a couple more times in each direction. And then let your chin hang low. Bring your chin as close to your chest as you can, and then lift your head, keeping your chin close to your body. Inhale up. Interlace your hands, reach your palms up to the ceiling. And with your next in breath, lengthen through your waist. Keep your backside glued to your heels. And if it's all right on your neck today, look up towards your hands. Relax your forehead. Inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back down. Okay, walk your hands forward. Just a little bit further than under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips, first downward dog today. Bring your heels to the back of the mat. Doesn't matter if they don't touch, especially as this is our first downward dog. So we'll begin gently walking out the pose. Keep your toes attached to the mat. But you can roll up to the tip of your toes, so you're still lengthening even the back of your toes. I can feel another little tickle coming on. Both heels still. Press the mat away, suck your belly button towards your spine and wrap your armpits in towards each other. Take your gaze to your knees. Keep pressing the mat away. Finger pads digging into the mat. Palms of your hands, the whole palm of the hand digging into the mat. Then look at the space between your hands and walk slowly to the top of the mat. First forward fold, so if you want to bend your knees, do that. Let your back be soft. Let your arms hang, look in towards your knees. Then bend your knees, flatten your back. So take your gaze to just below your head. Swing your arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands to your heart. And we'll take a few rounds of Vinyasa To Warm Up. Tail draws down to the mat, crown up to the sky. Inhale, scoop your hands up. Look up towards the heels of your hands. Exhale, bring your hands towards your center line. Fold forwards, flat back. Forward fold. Slide your hands halfway up your legs, flatten your back, gazing pose. On your next out breath, fold forwards. Soften your knees, big step back, right foot. And then left foot joins, high plank. Feel free to drop your knees first or lower down in one straight plane. Elbows touching your side waist or your ribs. Relax your feet. Press your belly, your pubic bone into the mat and rise up for low cobra. Your hands they're just little ornaments. They're not doing anything. Elbows towards your waistline. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Rise up, hands and knees. And then downward facing dog. Remember the cues for this pose, belly button to spine, tail down slightly, armpits towards each other. Then look at the space between your thumbs, and once again, let's walk to the top of the mat, slow and steady. Forward fold. Bend your knees, flatten your back, swing your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let's repeat that. Inhale, scoop your hands up. Squeeze your glutes, look up towards your hands. Try and make a straight line from your middle finger to your sternum to your tail. Exhale, bring your thumbs towards your forehead. Take your tailbone back, fold forwards. Inhale, gazing pose. So you might have your hands just below your knees, fingertips above your ankles, or hands flat on the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. This time left foot back for high plank. Inhale. Suck your belly button up towards your spine. And then lower down, nice and slowly. Relaxing your feet once more. Elbows towards your waistline. Inhale, rise up, low cobra. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Onto your knees or straight up into plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look at the space between your thumbs and make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Bend your knees, nice flat back, swing your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we'll take it up a notch now. Inhale, hands up to the sky, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale into gazing pose. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, right foot sweeps back, high plank. So step it almost to the center line, left foot to join. Suck your belly button up towards your spine. We'll lower down into our vinyasa, all the way down. This time, if you like, high cobra. So you lift up for low cobra and then keep reaching your elbows towards your waistline. Separate your collarbones, keep your heels together, your glutes squeezing. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Rise up onto your hands and knees this time. Exhale, child's pose. Drop your forearms down directly where they are, so your elbows are in line with the middle of your wrist and your middle finger. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips. Then reach your heels towards the back of the mat so that your shoulders are behind your elbows. Keep reaching your chest towards your thighs. Slightly turn your legs out, squeeze your glutes. So your calves are reaching towards each other. Strong pose, dolphin pose. Suck your belly button in towards your spine. You're looking towards your ankles or your knees. Press your forearms into the mat, lift your head. And then drop your knees down. Sitting back on your heels, keep your toes turned under. Take your hands behind you. Lean into the palms. Lift your chest, lift your chin slightly. Inhale. And breathe naturally, a couple of breaths. Okay, press into your toes, peel your hands off the mat. And let's slide the hands forward for downward facing dog. Feet together. Raise your right leg. Three-legged dog, flex the foot, reach the heel away, press into the mat. Now point the toe and we'll bring your knee towards your elbow. Pointed toe is important because I want the yoga to be in your whole body. Bring it inside the right elbow. And out. Now bring it to the left elbow. And send it back. Now roll onto your, into your high plank, three-legged plank. And we'll lower all the way down. This time you can take low cobra, high cobra, or slide your hands back just a smidge, press your feet into the mat, upward facing dog. Squeeze your glutes, lengthen your body so you make your crown reach away. Very slowly make your way to downward facing dog. Feet together. Let's do the same on the other side. Raise your left leg, heel leading. Squeeze your heel as far away as you can. And point the toe. Bring the knee to the outside of the left elbow and back. The right elbow and back. I said right. I'm getting muddled. Over to the right elbow and back. It was only a matter of time, I'm afraid, before left and right became a blur. Take your shoulders over your wrists and we'll lower down slowly. Keep your elbows bending in towards your body and control the pose. So either lift directly up for Cobra or slide your hands back just a smidge, upward facing dog. Separate the collarbones. Roll over your toes or step. And this time we'll float to the top of the mat. So if you prefer to walk, please do. Otherwise, take a little hop. Look where you're going. Forward fold. Bend your knees, flatten your back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment. Notice your breath. Squeeze your glutes. Lengthen your spine. So this is not a relaxing pose. This is fully engaged. All four corners of both feet on the mat. Inhale, press your hands up, looking up towards your hands. Exhale, fold forwards. Take your gazing pose. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forwards. Bend your knees. Take a big step back, right foot. All the way to plank. This time you can chaturanga dandasana, so you lower your shoulders to level with your elbows and push forwards and rise up into upward facing dog. From there, make your way to downward facing dog. Drop your knees, drop your elbows. So at the moment they're parallel to the edges of the mat. Now take your hands towards each other and interlace your fingers. Lift your heels, just as you did, or your hips rather. If you need to, I feel like I need to take a step back, please do. Get some length in the back of your legs. Now inhale, take yourself forward into plank, and then drop your nose to the mat, outside or above your fists. Take yourself back into Dolphin Pose, and then into Dolphin Plank, and drop your nose outside your fists. So we'll do a couple more of those. Try and stop your elbows from widening. You want to keep your elbows where they are. So this is a great one. If you're practicing forearm stand and you're using the wall, this is a really good one for strengthening the shoulders and the forearms. We'll do one more. And then back into Dolphin Pose. Walk your feet towards you just a little bit. Let's bring big toes to touch and then take the right foot up. Try and keep your hips square. Take it as high as it'll go. So if your hips are square, you'll feel this in your right glute, your right hamstring. Drop the foot down and switch. Left leg up. So you can point the toe. Keep drawing the left hip down and the right hip up. Press into your forearm so your head is nowhere near the mat. And drop the foot down. Brilliant. Lower onto your knees. Slide your hands towards your knees and rise up. Cheeky little half cobra. Cobra, no, camel. Take your hands to your backside. Squeeze your glutes. Lift up through your ribs. Now reach your right hand down. So you have to lean back and reach it so that you can just take the web between your thumb and your index finger to your heel. Then reach your left arm in front of you so that you can look directly into the palm. Try and square up your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Make this strong. To come out, take your left hand to your Backside, squeeze the glutes, slowly lift your right hand. Backside to heels. Slide your hands forwards, spread your fingers, forehead to the mat. Slide your hands back towards you, all the way up your thighs. Let's do that on the other side. So glutes squeezing in together. Lift up through your ribs, hands on your backside, where your back pockets might be. Then reach your left hand, the web of your left hand. So I'm leaning back slightly to get there. My arms aren't that long. So you have to engage your quads. Keep squeezing your glutes. Try and keep your hips forward. And take your right hand up. You're looking directly into the palm. Squeeze the glutes. If you want to bring the index finger and thumb together in Chin Mudra, you could. Keep reaching the arm up at the shoulders square. So your right shoulder stays low, the left shoulder reaches high, and you're lengthening your right arm. Remember to breathe. To come out, bring your right hand to your back pocket, squeeze the glutes, slide your left hand up, back side to heels. Slide your arms forward. Spread your fingers, press your hands down, rise up onto your hands and knees. Take your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Look at the space between your hands, bend your knees, lift your toes, then bend your knees. Jump forwards, forward fold. Now bending your knees with a flat back, rise up to standing, inhale. And exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment in standing prayer. Find the strength in the pose. Bringing your toes together. Take your hands up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale to gazing pose. And exhale, fold forwards. Bend your knees. This time take your left foot back, almost to the center, right foot to join. Chaturanga Dandasana if you wish. Scoot forward, rise up, upward facing dog. Keep control of the legs, the feet, the glutes. Lengthen your neck. Then make your way to downward facing dog. Okay, drop onto your knees. Let's drop the elbows down. Spread your fingers. Take your hands together, lace them. Let's do that lovely little strengthening again. Now the temptation will be for your elbows to spread. So really try and keep them where they are. If you practice this another time, you've got a band, you can wrap it around your upper arms to stop them moving. Lift your hips into Dolphin Pose. I'm going to take a step back. You want to be comfortable to slide forwards into Dolphin Plank. So let's try that. Inhale forwards. Then exhale, drop your nose above your fists. Let's go over again. Let's do two more. Make sure you're using your core. And lift your hips. Take your feet onto the mat as much as possible. So you're reaching your heels to the back of the mat. Drop your knees down. Slide your hands back towards you. Okay, rise up onto your knees for Camel Pose. So you can either do the half version that we just did, or we'll go for something a little stronger, the whole thing. Take your hands to your backside, lifting the ribs, leaning into your hands slightly. So this is not about jutting your hips forward, this is a leaning back. So you're really engaging your quads and your glutes. Take one hand at a time towards your heels. Open the chest. Now if it's okay for you to lift your chin, do that. If your neck's not happy, look forwards. You don't need to drop your head all the way back, just look up towards the ceilings. Keep squeezing the glutes. If you're doing one side at a time, it's time to swap over. Keep breathing. Keep squeezing the glutes. Now to come out of pose, one hand at a time towards your backside. Then take your backside towards your heels. Slide your hands forwards. And take a moment in extended child's pose with your toes tucked under. Spread your fingers, rise up onto your hands and knees, and into downward facing dog. Okay, bring your big toes to touch. Look at the space between your hands, and let's make our way there. Forward fold. This time, big toes touching, bend your knees, rise up into chair pose. Arms either side of your head, draw your tail under slightly, belly button to spine. Lean into your heels, but keep your toes on the mat. Palms together, rise to standing prayer. Inhale, take your hands up to the sky. Look up towards your hands, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, fold forwards. Take a gazing pose. Lovely opportunity to catch your breath in a strong practice. Don't forget to be long and steady. Exhale, fold forwards. Bend your knees. Take a big step back with your right foot. Take the left foot slightly to the left. Rise up into a high lunge. You'll bend in the back knee. Spread your fingers. As you exhale, drop your hands down. Right hand under right shoulder. Lower your left hip slightly and raise your left hand up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, drop your left hand down. Hop your right foot to the center and we'll sweep your left leg all the way up into three-legged dog. You can flex the foot or point the toes. Just make sure that you are working the back foot. Okay, keep that leg in the sky. Reach forward with your shoulders. Chaturanga Dandasana with a floating leg. Like a ballerina, all the way up. Drop your knees, extended child's pose. Rise up onto your knees, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg, send the foot forwards, ready for high lunge. Right leg leading, little bend in the left leg, reach your left heel back. Lengthening up. Exhale, drop your hands. Left hand under left shoulder. Lower your right hip. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, drop your hand. Let's step forward into chair pose. Big toes touching. Drop your backside. Squeeze your arms up. Inhale. Tail draws down to the mat, belly button to spine. Lean into your heels and hands to your heart. Okay, scoop your hands up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forwards. Lovely long, slow, gazing pose with a big in-breath. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Big step back, left foot. Drop the heel. This time, open out warrior two. Check in with your pose. Open your left hip as much as you can. Squeeze your glutes together. Lengthen your spine. Shoulders over hips. Let's straighten the front leg. Leave a micro bend and then engage your quad. Turn your palms away, take your ribs to the top of the mat. And gently fold or tilt rather into triangle pose. Bend your right knee and see if you can find the mat with the fingertips of the right hand. Take your left arm over, palm reaches towards the back of the mat. Keep drawing your right hip down and under, and your left hip out. Now slowly swivel so that your left hand finds the mat. This time, we'll scoot the right leg back, high into the sky, three-legged dog. Point the toes, flex the foot, you choose. Shoulders over wrists. Let's scoot down, nice floating leg. Rise up. Inhale. Drop your knees. Exhale, extended child's pose. Spread your fingers, rise up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, heels to the back of the mat, feet together. Raise the left leg, swing the foot through the center, ready for warrior two. You can look over your left hand. So remember all those cues from before and add squeezing your heels towards each other. Excuse me. Now, almost completely straighten the front leg. Draw the quad up, draw the kneecap up. Turn your palms, reach to the top of the mat and tilt. Turn your right hip out. Reach your right hand up. Now, if your left hand starts to slide down your leg towards the floor, that's great, as long as you don't turn this into a forward bend. So keep your right hip opened out. Now take a bend in the left knee. If you can, take your fingertips, your fist or your palm to the mat, but keep that openness. Take your right hand over, palm facing towards the back of the mat for a lovely extended side angle. Coming back to warrior two. And let's take both hands down to the mat and take your back foot forwards. Big toes touching, swing your arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll take a moment with some balancing poses. So maybe step to the middle of your mat. Big toes joined. Lovely long straight spine, hands to your heart to begin. Just find that stability and the strength in just standing. Let's bring your hands to your hips. Spread your toes, lift your right knee. You can point the toe or flex the foot. Keep your hips square. Start to straighten the leg as much as is possible for you. And again, either point the toe or flex. Now bend the knee and we'll post it through the back for warrior three. Take it gently. Keep your hips square. So your right hip will try to rise a little higher. Take your arms alongside your body. Okay, so this is where it's going to get tricky. Take your left hand directly underneath your left shoulder and start to open the right hip, flex the foot. So your right hand is alongside your body. Keep looking down towards your left hand. I'm going to wobble. Squeeze your glutes. Now, if you're up for it today, take your right hand up to the sky, spread your fingers. Even stronger would be to look up towards your right hand. I'm not even going to bother today. Okay, we're going to slowly take both hands to the floor. I'm trusting that you weren't looking because you were busy doing it. Okay, walk your hands towards your left foot. You can open your right hip, point your heart towards the sky for your standing split. Looking in towards your left knee. Bend your left foot, your left knee. Come to sit for a moment. Stretch out your legs. Circle your ankles. Ooh. Take it in the opposite direction. With your feet, just a nice little stretch. Okay, let's lean into backside and take boat pose before we do the other side. Take your abdomen towards your thighs as much as you can. Crown up to the ceiling as much as is possible. So it's boat pose, which means that there will be a little bobbing up and down as you balance. You can take your arms alongside your legs. Even stronger, straighten your legs. Stronger still, arms up. Woo. If you can reach your big toes, even better. Woo! I'm going to blame all the wind that's outside today on my balance. Okay, bend your knees, take hold of the tops of your feet and roll over. Let's make our way into plank and from there, downward dog. Whenever you're jumping into plank, always jump onto bent elbows. Don't lock your arms. We'll make our way to the middle of the mat for standing on the other side. Bend your knees, flatten your back, inhale up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, let's lean into the right foot, raise the left leg. Flex the foot to begin. Check that your hips are even, so you can even, if you bring your hands to your hips, you've got a stronger idea, I find, of whether your hips are square or not. Start to straighten the leg, point the toe. Now bend the knee and let's post it back for warrior three. So far, so good. You can flex your back foot for this one, so that you're making the whole back of your leg really long. Gaze is towards the floor. You can take your arms alongside your body. Okay, let's take the right hand underneath the right shoulder. So it's pressing towards the floor, but it's not touching the floor. Start to open the left hip. And then if you're able to go to the next level, I have this cheat wall next to me. You can take your left arm up to the sky. Look up towards your left hand. You've lost me long ago, but if you're still with me, if you're still doing it, that's great. Look up towards your left hand. Now drop the hands towards the floor gracefully. Point your left toe, open the hip. Walk your hands towards your right foot. Take your gaze up towards your right knee. And let's bend the knee. Sit down. Stretch out your legs. Good. I think I picked the wrong day for balance poses today. Move your glutes away. Lengthen your spine. Bring your hands by your sides. Dandasana. So take a little cheeky little twist here. You bring your left hand to your hip. And then slide, it's actually more to the waistline, I should say. And then slide it round to the right. So that your elbow, if you look at your elbow, you can see that it points just beyond your right knee. And we're going to lift up and lean forward and take your elbow to the floor on the other side. Now check in with your feet. So if you've now got your left leg's now longer than your right, square up your hips. And reach your left hand towards the outside edge of your right foot. You probably guess where this is going. You can take your right hand up to the sky and reach it over towards the outside of your left foot. Now the next thing is to open your heart up and look underneath your right arm. To come out of the pose, let's take the right arm first. Inhale, take it behind you. Start to slide your left hand towards you. Right up. Take your hands to the floor. Options here. You can either take reverse table, bend your knees, lift up so that your knees, hips and shoulders are level, or stretch out your legs, press your feet towards the floor, and then lift your backside, squeeze your glutes, strengthen the back body, lengthen the front body. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Lovely. Give your arms a shake, hands a shake. Feet together, move the flesh. Handasana. Take your right hand to your hip, your left hand can stay where it is actually. Slide it, it's actually at the waist. Slide it round to the left. Lift up and drop your elbow outside your left knee. Check your feet, keep them together. Lovely, okay. So drop the hand and reach towards the outside of your left foot. Look up towards your left shoulder. Take your left hand behind you, up to the ceiling, over, reaching for the outside of your right foot. Keep opening the left side of your chest up towards the sky. Look underneath your arm. To come out of pose, left arm first. Inhale, reach it back. Slide your right arm towards you. Superb. Okay, let's separate the legs as far as is comfortable for you today. Flex your feet, and actually even with your hands, grab hold of your hamstrings and lift up and turn out. So you want your feet to be lightly turned out. Lengthen in through the spine, slide your hands forward, and start to tilt forwards. Now as you tilt forwards, what you might find is that your feet flop forwards and your back rounds. So what I'd like you to do is to only go as far as you can go with a flat back. As soon as your shoulders and your upper back start to soften, that's you've gone far enough. Stop where you are, slide your shoulders back, turn your feet out. Only lower if you can keep that integrity in your spine. Those of you who are super flexible can reach for your feet, can turn your head to one side. Feel free to turn your head to the other side. Lovely. Start to slide your hands in towards you. Use your core muscles to lift you. Inhale up. Bring your knees together. Toes to the top of the mat. Lift up the spine, reach forwards, and then roll back as though somebody put a lasso around your midsection and you're trying to reach the top of the mat. Roll back, roll back, roll back. All the way onto your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give them a squeeze. Now at this point, if there's anything you feel like you need from your practice, it's a good time to do it. So for example, if you've got shoulder stand in your practice, this might be a good time to make your way into your shoulder stand. You might go from there into plow pose. Try not to round the back or soften it. You might instead prefer to drop your feet and have a little rock from side to side. Or even hold your knees. Give your lower back a massage as you circle your knees in the air. Just doing whatever feels good to you in this moment. And so now make your way into Shavasana. Make your spine as long as you can. Slide your legs the length of your mat. Make sure your head's on the mat. Hands by your sides, palms facing up. Shuffle into a comfortable pose. If your lower back feels like it's really arched off the mat, bend your knees, separate your feet to the width of the mat, and then let your knees fall into each other. Take a nice long inhale through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. Do that a few more times in your own time. Use the out-breath to soften all the muscles, face, neck and shoulders, arms and hands, torso, the back, legs and feet, groin, hips, buttocks. And then return to your natural breath. Notice the effects of your practice today. If you have an affirmation you like to use, you could call that to mind. Or you could say to yourself, my body is strong and steady. And as you go through your day today, look for those opportunities for stability, for calm, physically and emotionally. Take a nice big stretch and a big in-breath. Of course, if you want to stay in Shavasana, stay there as long as you like. Otherwise, make your way up to a comfortable seat. You might bring your hands to your heart and take a moment of gratitude for a strong and healthy body. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and definitely share with anybody you think might benefit. Okay, thank you.